While presenting the 16.7 trillion budget for unfunded priorities in the financial year 2023-2024, officials from the Finance Ministry have informed the Finance Committee about the need for the money to cater for among the many reparations to the Republic of Congo amounting 248 billion shillings, Lubowa promissory notes at 228 billion shillings, and central bank charges at 151 billion shillings, plus others. MPs, on the other hand, tasked Ministry of Finance to explain why it skipped certain items despite continuous interest occurred upon them.
When it comes to promissory notes, when it comes to the bills of exchanges, the court orders, really I would think that these are not items that would be left out for because we are not yet balancing. You would rather go on other budgets and cut on, you would have rather have, reduced on, say, non-wage. I'm seeing entities coming up with calendars, I hear brochures, I hear, clothing, beddings. Those are where you would have left them for corrigenda, where along the way. But these ones here, really, why are you putting Parliament at a corner?
In his response, Minister Musasizi told legislators that it is impossible to achieve everything with the limited resource envelope and that government is committed to reduce the country's debt, promising that henceforth government will only borrow amounts within the budget range.
Like I said earlier, it is not possible to achieve everything in this limited resource envelope. This discretionary resource of 24, whereby about over 7 trillion is going for wage item, just one like this. Some things may not find space in this constrained resource envelope as we want them to be. Mr. Chairman, we are not reducing debt per se. We are saying let's borrow within the budget. What we have budgeted for should be what we borrow. We have been even borrowing beyond what we have provided for in the estimates. But now going forward, we are saying the borrowing should be consistent. No borrowing outside the budget.
In regard to the contentious Lubowa Hospital, MPs requested the Ministry of Finance to provide accountability for the project, which they say keeps on accumulating a debt burden despite lack of progress at the site.
There is a new agreement that you signed concerning Lubowa Specialized Hospital, and part of the key issues that are being talked about in this agreement, you're reducing the scope of the work that PNET is supposed to do, Finesse Construction. You're reducing the work they are supposed to do, and you're increasing the money that is supposed to actually be paid to them. So do you think that is fair to this nation? This is an agreement that was signed. I've seen the PS, Ramadan Ngobi, and PNET signed it, and Ministry of Health. So perhaps you can clarify on that, because the initial agreement at the start was $345 million. Later it switched to $366 million, and according to this agreement, still you're increasing the money to $379.7 million.
We as a committee visited Lubowa, and there was actually very little going on there. With the minister, yes, with the minister, and there was very little progress being made. And yet, this is a matter that has been taken underground, and I know for sure, Honorable Minister, this will come in a supplementary somewhere immediately after the appropriation.
Yes,
now, and the same thing is with the ROCO. It's the same thing which is true with the debt to Congo. So you guys would rather come up front with this thing. Let Parliament make a pronouncement on it, and so that we can move forward together. This thing of tinkering with the appropriation and undermining the responsibility of Parliament will not work. And these are things that maybe some people cannot say it, but we need to say it here.
According to Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, government should stop manipulating figures of unfunded priorities, citing mismatch. He says officials from the Treasury operations have not done enough to help reduce the country's debt as the national budget maintains a steady growth.
Securities. When you look at it, debt redemption by 1819, what was it? It was 4. As we speak now, you have accumulated a debt you can't pay. and you have no formula on how to pay, it has gone to almost 8. So every year, this is an account, and when you look at interest, look at the interest rise on interest, on interest and how they have been rising. Loan interest. By 1819, we are paying an interest just a mere 424. Okay? Now, this financial year, loan interest is going to be 870. When you look at the trend on every parameter in the last 5 years, it's alarming, and you are going not only you, but for you are going deeper into the abyss. We want to ask you, you are land friends in these matters, we are not. Really, is any of you proud for this trend of our national economy? Because what amazes me is that when I look at our revenue generally, they've been increasing. By 2018, our budget was below 20 trillion. No, I mean tax collection was below 20 trillion. It was like 18, 19, if I don't have the right figures here. Today, you are projecting to collect 28 trillion. You are making no attempt to redeem this debt rollover that is hemorrhaging a country. But for every year, all what you do is to justify more luxurious expenditures. So, are you in any way, my friends in this department, helping this government by this behavior?
In retaliation, the Finance Ministry has asked for more time to come return jointly with the Ministry of Health and Lubowa Specialized Hospital staff to provide accountability. Uganda's debt stock current sits at 86 trillion shillings, with big allocations tended towards non-self-financing projects. Samula Hanifa, Smart24 TV, Business Today.